It's your girl Queen, reminding you guys to connect with us on patreon.com/TMG Fam, where you can get full exclusive access to all content, bonus videos, behind the scenes, vlogs, lives, and so much more.
What's good, TMG Fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction video, man. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Now listen, man, we heard from MGK. Now it's time to hear from the GOAT himself, Eminem. Now this is the interview back in September of 2018, where Eminem sits down and talks to Sway from Sway in the Morning about the Kamikaze album, everything leading up to it, the whole MGK incident. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get into this interview right now and kind of just go back and remind people of how this whole thing transpired. Here we go.
Y'all ready to be history? All right, hey, there we go.
We're out of here.
All right, here we go, that's it.
Sway, so before we get started, will you please sign this for me?
Oh, shit, damn, wow. Wow.
Look at how, yo, you look like a kid. You're a kid there.
Damn, man, I was a baby, bro.
Crazy.
That's our teenage years. Y'all didn't know I had bars once upon a time, huh? Yeah, you want me to say Marshall? You want me to say?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's M-A-R.
That's H-A-L-L.
Yeah, there you go. Look
Hell
at that,
yeah,
man. I signed a vinyl for him, man. Look at that, man. Look at
incredible. Yo, your signature's so much better than mine. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Man, you threw me off with that.
Fucked up your whole shit?
Not really. Just impressed that you dug that deep in the crates, man. I didn't know you.
I'm always digging in the crates.
That's good to know, man. That's good to know. If you want to use any lyrics from any of those songs on that vinyl,
well, I was gonna ask you when cameras are off. There's a couple bars that I wish I could have.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Go ahead, man. What's mine is yours, man. If it make your shit tighter, you know.
That's weird, because normally it's the interviewer that's trying to make the person that they're interviewing more comfortable. So the lead-in is there's certain tactics that they use, and when it comes to Sway, he's one of the best at it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of making the person feel comfortable so they can open up, so they can, you know what I mean? But M kind of hit him off the bat and was like giving him something to make him feel like more, like it's crazy how the dynamics change back and forth right then and there. That's crazy.
Let's speak on bars though. Here we are. Kamikaze came out. You know, you shocked the world the way you did it. What made you do it? I mean, a Revival came out December 2017. That wasn't that long ago. It's less than a year. What made you just drop it on the world the way you did?
Because I feel like the way the climate is right now, if you give people enough time to, I got an album coming out in 2 months. You give people time to say, man, he better have a song like this or I ain't fucking with it. If he don't have a song like this, I ain't fucking with it.
Yeah.
He better not be rapping like this. He better not be rapping about this or I'm not gonna fuck with it. And when you go into an album, you can go into anything with the mindset of this is gonna suck. And then even if you kind of don't feel that way, you're already kind of formed your opinion in front of all your friends and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like giving them no warning was the best thing to do, just because it doesn't give people enough time to, you know, when the Revival track list came down the pipe.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like, overwhelmingly, this shit is gonna be trash.
Yeah.
I just realized, like, hip hop has become like sports. What happens in the off season of football? You know, it's nothing really going on. It's no really news out there. So they have to speculate on all the off-season acquisitions about what the next season will be for this team, or that team. Hip-hop has ultimately became that in a sense as well. When you think about it, like he said, if I put out my track list 2 months, 3 months in advance, it gives everybody time to poke holes and shoot holes through it, formulate their own opinions, down talk it, you know what I mean? And just call it trash before they've even given themselves to hear it. So I get why a lot of artists now have turned and positioned themselves to just drop an album on you to where you don't have time to even build up the hate or find something wrong with it. You know what I mean? And that's just crazy because it just made me, when he said that, made me compare it to football. That's all they do during the offseason building up is formulate opinions about what this team is going to be like, what drafting this player means to this team. And now, the Cleveland Browns drafted Baker Mayfield, so now they got Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, they got, they already had Jarvis Landry. Oh, so now it's crazy Super Bowl team. And what happened? What happened?
And
that was before
nobody really wanted to be wrong about it.
Yeah.
They had already formed, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people had already, formed their opinions. So.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, Revival really ran through the ringer, so to speak, before it even got off the ground. But, this is that day and age. It's different now, right?
Yeah.
How have you adjusted to that? Like, before, which is what I find interesting about you, before you spent your whole career being critiqued and criticized by organizations like LGBTQ community or college campuses or police departments, but hip hop always stood by you. So that was, that's where you found your refuge. But now it came from inside of hip hop. How did that affect you?
Me sitting back and seeing things that I saw, it was kind of like, I felt a bunch of different ways. I felt like, okay, maybe because it doesn't sound like everything else and what most people are doing, maybe that was what tainted their ear. Because I remember a time in hip hop where you had to be so different from the next person or you were trash. There's a shift somewhere that happened that if it doesn't sound like everything else, then it's trash automatically.
Yeah.
And I just sat back like, okay, all right, I can take that. It's not like I can't take constructive criticism, but I feel like it kind of went beyond constructive criticism. So I had to go back to it and look, I have made albums that definitely probably would not be the top of my list. Encore.
Okay.
Relapse, which I believe Encore is a better album than Relapse. Relapse is something that I looked at in a couple of years, went back to and cringed at. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's another great point right there. We don't give music time to age. Like, we shoot it down so much that we don't give it time to age, to see what it sounds like when we go away and come back to it. It's albums from back in the day that I heard back then that was way ahead of my time. And now that I listen to it now, I can understand it because where I'm at in my life. You know what I mean? So just because we're not feeling it now won't mean that we won't feel it later. We just may not be ready for it now. So for us to shoot something down, it's gonna look crazy if we come back in 10 years and listen to that album and be like, yo, I see what he meant. Man, I should have gave this album a chance. I hear people say that all the time. Ain't, bro, I just listened to it now. I should have gave that album a chance back in the day. I thought it was trash, but nah, clearly I just wasn't in that mindset. So we gotta give it, okay, it's not for me right now, or maybe it's just not for me, period. But don't ruin it for somebody else, because that's what happens a lot of times too, is somebody will hear your opinion and not even make their own. They'll go based off of your opinion, especially if you have some if you're an influencer or you have some type of influence on people. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
I didn't even realize I was doing that many accents. I just started, for whatever reason, I just got into it and was just like, started on this weird serial killer vibe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And started wanting to talk crazy and started bending words more. And the only way you can bend them is with this accent, trying to use this one. And couple years later, in making recovery and slipping out of that, getting out of the accents and beyond it, made recovery.
Yeah.
And I always say that if it wasn't for relapse, I wouldn't have been able to make recovery. And if it wasn't for revival, I wouldn't have been able to make this album. So I'm good with it. It just, some people more than others went a little far with it.
A little far with it. I want to get into that too. And I almost, when I listen to Kamikaze and I hear some people say, man, that's the vintage M we wanted. We wanted Shady back, right? And when I listen to it, man, I have to admit, man, I hear something in you on this album that kind of made me rejoice in a way I've done in the past. I like the fact that you're not running from the criticism. I like the fact that in this digital age, you're not, cowering and then reforming to what people think you should sound like or how people think you should act, and you're calling it out. And I actually like some of these review shows that you see on YouTube, and they take people's music and they have fun with it. I look at these kids, and I see us when we were young. I see myself when I was younger before YouTube, and we'll go through a G-Rap album and, oh, this was dope, that was dope. A Far Side album, this was dope. Yeah. They just kind of doing that, right? And you address them. So you're that in tuned, like in the beginning of the Ringer when you talk.
Yeah, because he said you do your little reaction videos and like he's in tune. It's easy to come across someone's radio in this game. It's across someone's radio. Come across somebody's radar in this game. It's easy to come across. And then once they come across you, they end up in a wormhole down your content, other people's content, and they hear. Like what happens is a lot of artists will put their stuff out and then they'll go sit and see and go searching to see what the reviews or the comments are about their projects. You know what I mean? So they're very much aware of what gets said. Very, very much aware.
Talk about if you critique me, you can make millions. If I critique you, there's nothing I really.
Yeah, it gets into the territory where it's like you got, okay, so since the internet has become what the internet's become, and since YouTube and all that, you've got so many, how can I say this? It's almost like not enough Indians, too many chiefs. So it's like everybody on the internet, and in hip hop especially, it seems like either a rapper, a DJ, a writer, a producer, has something to do with it. And I love the fact that so many people now have been able to get on easier than it was for me or you back in the day, because we didn't have this platform. So I appreciate the platform. It's just that now you've got people that not only are doing the same thing and they can do it better, but you've got people who don't do anything and are just critiquing it. So I sat back and I'm like, okay, that's fine. People can talk crazy about me. That's fine. They should express themselves, and they have a right to. But I also get to say whatever the fuck I want about you now. Like I said, I'm good with revival.
That's true. That's 100%, 1,000 USDA grade A truth right there. It's the truth. It's no way I can sit here and say things and not expect people to have a response. There's no way anybody else who has a platform who think that they can talk crazy about somebody that it's not gonna happen, or somebody else doesn't have the right to respond. You know what I mean? That comes with the territory. So if you think otherwise, then you're delusional. You're delusional. If you want to make comments about somebody's art or their artistry or how you feel or whatever, that you should expect to get a response. You know what I mean? It's just truth.
Fuck it. Because I couldn't have made this album without that.
Yeah.
And there is something, I'm not gonna lie, there is something inside me that is a little more happy when I'm angry. It's like, as much as as bad as it feels to be there, there's also something about it, there's a rush of it that I like because it inspires me to say something back. So you get in that weird area too where it's like, oh, he says he doesn't care about what anybody thinks about him, but now he cares about what everybody thinks about him. No, he's just saying he don't care. He'll say anything he wants about you if you say it about him because he doesn't care. Like, there's so many different levels to not caring about shit, you know what I'm saying? But it was interesting. It was definitely interesting because I'm like, how fucking off is my ear?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, and then it was interesting to watch the reaction of the Chloroseptic remix verse that I did.
Yeah, with 2 Chainz, and you put that out in January. You touched on, you guys formed your opinion just from a track.
That's where I was at.
Yeah.
At that point in time, that's definitely where I was at. But I watched people going, oh, why wasn't this on Revival? Honestly, what if I said it was on Revival? You won't know because you didn't listen probably.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like, okay, I guess this is what people might want. Because I'm always stuck in that, what the fuck do people want? Like you were saying that the old M is back and he's too old to be the old M. He can't do, like, no matter what, when I zig, I should have zagged. No matter what, you got half and half every fucking single time.
You kind of say that.
It's like, I don't know if y'all are familiar with battle rap. It's a battle rap verse out there from Murder Mook when he's battling Iron Solomon. And he during the verse he takes like an imaginary crown off his head and places it on Iron Solomon's head. And he said, I'm gonna let you wear this for a minute, but now you gotta wear all of the negative that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And that was so powerful to me because that's in a sense what M is saying. You know, people don't understand what it's like if I zig, I should have zagged. People don't understand what it's like to have that spot or that crown, in a sense, as Mook was speaking of, that everybody wants to be in. They don't know what comes with that. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough.
You allude to it in one of the songs where you said you set the bar so high that, you know, at this point, you know, everything's considered a failure. Like you're almost competing with yourself.
Yeah.
And you touch on it a lot in every song. Well, not every song, but majority of songs you touch on it, I appreciate. But I have to, like, the Joe Budden thing is really interesting because that, along with MGK, of course, is making a lot of noise out there. And it throws a lot of folks off. When Joe first started commenting, it was mixed reactions. Some people said it was disloyal. Some people said, man, he's entitled to his opinion. I would assume that obviously it got under your skin, considering the relationship you've had with him with Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
How do you describe your relationship with Joe Budden? You went in on MGK. You guys had a discrepancy.
You know, you go down the fucking wormhole of YouTube and whatever, right? So I see Machine Gun Kelly talks about Eminem's daughter, whatever, right?
And we gonna stop, right? Y'all want me to go to part 2 and keep this thing going and we keep breaking this down together? Y'all let me know in the comment section, bro. Like, this interview came out in 2018, September, wasn't it? They put this out September 11th, 2018. This is January of 2020, man, and it still gives me like chills to just, and gets me excited to hear his perspective, his point of view, and to just, I don't know, man, I just like watching and getting into stuff and breaking down this stuff and doing this type of stuff. So if y'all want to keep rocking with this and finish the interviews, if they allow me and it stays up, you know what I'm saying? We can continue to dive into this some more, man, where he gets into the Joe Budden stuff, where he gets into the MGK stuff. Y'all let me know. I love this type of stuff doing this, man. So y'all leave some comments in the comment section below, man. Share the video, like the video, man. Let's get the likes up and subscribe if you're new, man. Stick around and stay tuned. It's your boy L. To the next reaction, man. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Hey.